Alrighty. Hopefully this works out well. How is everybody? Turn that down a tiny bit. Alrighty. So, I've been cooking up this, like... That should probably be a little bit lower. Okay. I've been cooking up this, superhero type story for a minute. I did sort of a rough version of it back in like high school, but it was a Daredevil fanfiction. And I figure I could probably do a good story without relying on it being a Daredevil fanfiction, which I haven't read since high school, so this won't be like influenced by that at all. But yeah, I'll just you know, you could toss things in the chat if you feel like it, but I will just be trying to get some writing stuff done. The thing that I've noticed, just like reading books and watching movies the past couple months, there's a lot of like plot beat summaries that I've watched that it's like, okay, so you start out in like normalcy and then something wild happens to change all that. And that's kind of true. You should give your audience a little bit of normalcy at first. Like explain, you know, where they're coming from, where the characters are coming from. But then I feel like it's good to, instead of starting with a totally normal, nothing is weird day, you do actually start with a weird day. So like in Lion King, everyone's seen The Lion King. If you haven't, I'm sorry. In The Lion King, it's not just a normal day for Simba. It's his dad is taking him on a tour of the Pride Lands. So you take him on a tour of the Pride Lands, and so Simba notices a thing off in the distance, and so he goes to his Uncle Scar about the thing that's off in the distance. And there's actually two inciting incidents in Lion King, which is really interesting, because there's Simba and Nala go off to the elephant graveyard, and you know, that shows us like, oh, Simba's still really immature, Simba's still not really ready, and his dad's worried about him. So that's kind of an inciting incident, but then, like, it doesn't... It's not quite enough of a push to get Simba to change, to get him to continue forward. Because the next day, or however many days later, when Simba and Scar are in the gorge, you know, Simba's still reckless, Simba's still like, I'm gonna chase after this chameleon. But nothing super rough has happened yet, and the real inciting incident is, spoilers, if you haven't seen The Lion King, mute for like 30 seconds. The real inciting incident is when Mufasa dies, because that's when Simba's finally one, like, I fucked up and I'm making mistakes, and two, that's what really sets him, he runs away, that's what really sets him on the path towards irreversible change. And I think that's really important to story structure, is maybe don't go from like 0 to 100 like that. Like, toss in maybe a couple things that are different. Like another example in Frozen. Because I assume you guys have also seen Frozen. There's the bit in the beginning where Anna accidentally gets her face hit with ice, and she gets ice in her brain, and that makes Elsa change a little bit, because like then she's isolated for the next like 10 to 13 years. I know how, let's say 10 years. She was probably 8. No, she ends up 21 towards the end. So yeah, 13 years. She's isolated for the next 13 years. And then the real inciting incident is during her coronation. Everyone finds out that she has ice powers, and that's when she leaves. Like, I think I don't like Frozen that much musically. I really don't like Frozen 2 that much musically, because I don't think they're that... As a musical, all the songs should be integral to the story. They should move the story forward, and if you just cut the scenes with the music out of the story, it shouldn't work. There are, especially in Frozen 2, so many songs that are not integral to the story. Like, I don't even remember half of them. There's Into the Unknown, which is the song that played on the radio for ages and ages. And, like, it's fine, but it's not a very good I Want song, because it's like, what does Elsa want out of this? Because it starts off, she says she wants to not listen to the voice. And then it ends up being she does want to listen to the voice, but what does she want from the voice? I guess she wants to, like, figure out who she is. But what does that mean? It's not a great I Want song. And let it go. Well, here's... Elsa doesn't really get an I Want song in Frozen. Anna does. She wants connection with someone. And I guess Elsa just wants to be left alone. Elsa is a weak character, and Frozen and Frozen 2 were not written super well. They just have catchy songs. That's my hot take. Anyways. I think, the whole point of this whole spiel that I'm putting off writing is, I think it makes sense to have two separate, not two separate inciting incidents, but the thing that makes this day different moment, and then the thing that actually gets the character up and moving. So, like, in another example, in Around the World in 80 Days, Jackie Chan's character, like in the beginning of the movie, Jackie Chan's character steals a jade Buddha from the Bank of England. So that's why the day is different. But it's not an inciting incident until he through like a line of gossip. The scene is wild. He like gets the inventor Phileas Fogg to agree to a bet to go around the world in 80 days. Like, nothing, like, there's the thing that makes it different, and there's the thing that causes change. And I need to stop talking, because my nose is a mess. Ugh. And I hope the music in the background isn't too loud. Anyway, so I'm just making like a bullet list real quick of like beats I need to hit, and then I'll fill those out later. VOD. Yeah, what makes this night different from other nights is... Yeah, that's my point. So, like... Actually, I had this on in the background, but that's driving me insane. Yeah, what makes this night different from all of the nights is... Passover Cedar question. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. If you could elaborate on that, that'd be fantastic. But the at face value, yes, that sentence is basically what what I'm getting after. And like the reason why why is this day different from all other days, or why is this night different from other nights? Why I think that's important is because like you know, people aren't gonna do the thing that they've been putting off just out of nowhere. You know, like I don't think it's like a singular event. There's like there is that mini build up to the inciting incident that a lot of like plot beat things don't really go over. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not Passover is Jewish. I'm not a religious person in general, so I don't know about a bunch of stuff. But that's interesting that it just happens to be part of Passover. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Long-winded point. There should be a build-up to the inciting incident and shouldn't just be like a bomb goes off. Like, how did the bomb get there? You know. Premise so far. That's a good question. The premise so far is family moves from out in the country to I say out in the country, a smaller town of like 100,000 people. They move out to a larger major city, and while that's hard on the main character, who has superpowers that are yet to be defined, they're realizing that this could be an opportunity to finally either make a name for themselves or like do good in the world that they're wanting to do. Um, and largely the themes of this are going to be like, you know, what's really important, like attention or goodness or being, yeah, attention or goodness or being there for people or whatever, and like family ties, because the main character moves there with their dad and their younger sister. So this is it's gonna be like a superhero kind of an origin story. It's gonna like how Peter Parker was introduced in the MCU. Like we already know the Spider-Man story, but it's still like he's not like a super big superhero yet. Like that's how he's introduced in like Civil War. So this character already has their powers, and they've been doing some smaller stuff, but they think they can do more in the big city. And I don't know if you were here. I'm just gonna bullet point the different plot beats I want to hit, and then I'll fill out those story specifics. And Lord, I need water. Yeah. Okay. Settings. I mean, yeah, like the powers themselves aren't the most important. Like Spider-Man can still live with his aunt and uncle and avenge his uncle's death, and learn that he needs to be a responsible man without like web slinging. You know? Yeah. And since I'm not talking anymore, I'll toss this back on. Act 2. as portal powers. They could. Portal powers would help facilitate, because they're not, like, they still live with their parents, so it's not like they can just sneak out and not be noticed. So portal powers would help her get around. Maybe. Codename is a guy. That'd be funny. Or like Bioshock Infinite, like, not just portal hopping powers, but like, you could go to different timelines. That'd be funny. Yeah. Slow burn romance with future self. That's funny. I don't think that's what I'll be writing. No, stop. That's... No. Maybe. Maybe. Ugh. Hold on. I gotta... I apologize. I have a cold and I didn't want to like blow my nose and be all gross on camera. That's how you spell it, right? Oh. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm gross. Alright, Act 3. So, like, just in case anyone's, like, confused. So, let me turn this back off while I talk. Starting off, what makes this... We're gonna keep using the Lion King thing. What makes this say different? Simba's being shown, like, the Pride Lands. He's being shown, what everything is, how he relates to it, but he isn't 100% sure of, like, how he fits into all of it yet. The I want portion is the I'm gonna be a mighty king, you know, that part. The inciting incident is, you know, they go after the elephant graveyard. The hold off on their thing a little bit longer is, I want to say that's like Mufasa talking to Simba because he's like, hey, don't be stupid and irresponsible. And he's like, okay, cool. But then kicks door open. Hi, Riv. How goes? I'm currently writing down the general bullet points of what I'm going to be outlining, and then I'll add in like these story-specific plot beats after I'm done with that. Go sleepies? Are you going to go sleepies? Or are you telling me to go sleepies? I should like have like a phone stage. So forces the character to finally make a change in their life. Like they can't be the king anymore. Simba can't pretend to be the king anymore and be irresponsible and whatever because like he's literally chased out of the Pride Lands. Oh, it goes sleepy. You're cozy. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I baked potatoes. And I'm going to eat one of them after stream. They are currently cooling off. So, gets kicked out of the Pride Lands. Introducing the new world. That's when like he meets Timon and Pumbaa. I'm gonna... This is when you add the new characters and or the B-plot. So, like, in Frozen, the main plot is Anna wants a connection with someone, and then the B plot is she has to go look for Elsa. And she meets Kristoff. You don't want to get uncozy? I'm sorry. I truly am. I'm probably gonna get a snack at 11 my time, so 24 minutes. I'll toss up a BRB screen and I'll go get a snack and go to the bathroom and stuff. Montage of the character trying to put their plan together with largely positive results. So, like in The Lion King, you get the Hakuna Matata sequence, and Simba grows up, and he's having a great time with his adoptive dads. In Frozen, it's Anna and Elsa are going after Kristoff. I'm bad at words. Anna and Kristoff are going after Elsa. And, you know, they make it. They make it to the Spooky Mountain in the castle and stuff. Something is tossed in the mix that makes the character have to change their plan a bit. In The Lion King, this is Nala comes back, and Simba's like, oh hey, someone from my past, and I haven't thought about my past for a while, and also I'm like an adult and there are hormones. And then in Frozen, this is, you know, Anna gets hit in the chest and they're kicked out of the ice castle. They're trying to continue their plan, but it can't be accomplished due to something that they can't let go of. In Lion King, Simba's like, "Hey, stay here with me. This is a great life," and this also kind of goes into the next one. Nala's like, "Hey, the kingdom is screwed, and you need to come back and save us." And Simba's like, "No." In Frozen, this is Anna is still holding on to the, like, I want to make a connection, and she needs to get saved, but she can't get saved because, like, Hans isn't her true love. Characters warned about why they aren't succeeding, but they choose to ignore it. Yeah, like I said, these two kind of go together. Because Kristoff the entire time is like, Hans isn't your true love, you just met him like yesterday. And Anna's like, whatever, it's fine, let's just go to Hans and he can kiss me better. And then this in Lion King is when Simba, like, that's the Mufasa cloud. That's the he's trying to ignore his past, and Rafiki and his ghost dad are both like, hey, you're being stupid. And in Frozen, this is the Hans betrayal. Here's the thing. Here's where the Hans betrayal is stupid. Hans isn't important to the story until, like, here. Like, Anna going after Elsa would have happened without Hans existing. Like, in Lion King, all of this is because Simba got kicked out. Like, I know that Hans is kind of why Elsa ran away. Because, you know, her and Anna had the fight, and because Anna was like, I want to marry Hans, and Elsa's like, no. But, like, it didn't have to be about Hans. Like, Elsa could have run away without Hans existing. Simba would not have left the Pride Lands if his dad didn't die. You know? No, Elsa should have been the. Here's the thing: narratively, she largely is, and that's another reason why it doesn't work. Is Elsa's arc is largely dependent on Anna's actions. Like, yeah, like, Nala came back to try to get Simba to go back to the Pride Lands. Well, like, she wasn't looking for him, but, like, she found him and she was like, hey, you should come back to the Pride Lands. And, like, that's what sent him back, but it could have been anything. Like, Elsa gets her own song. Elsa gets Let It Go. But then, like, nothing else until, like, late Act 3. But if she's the villain, then it just hammers home that much more of, like, Anna needs to be a bit more choosy about her connections. And, like, Elsa always loves Anna. Like, she does accidentally hurt her, but that's not because she doesn't love Anna. It just There's so many mixed up things going on. But if Elsa were the villain and Anna had to prove to her like no, isolation isn't good, then that would have been great. But like she doesn't even have to prove to Elsa that isolation isn't good. Elsa comes to that herself, kind of, I guess, because she's like, oh, I hugged my sister, and now she's not dead. Like, ah. Yeah, the real villains were the rock gnome things. Like, it is actually their fault that Elsa decided to isolate herself. And then also their fault that she went back to Hans. But, like, yeah, it just, Frozen, I'm not even going to touch Frozen 2, partially because I don't remember half of it. But, yeah, it just, Frozen is not a well structured movie. Y'all just liked it because of Let It Go. And maybe Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Like, that's it. Um, it's not good. Frozen 2 is not good. And, like, the character has no choice but to do the thing they've been ignoring the whole time. Here's another reason why it sucks. In The Lion King, Simba can't ignore the fact that he is his father's son. He is the rightful ruler of Pride Rock. There's probably an AMV on YouTube about Hans and Kristoff together. I'm gonna blow my nose again real quick. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So, character has no choice but to do the thing they've been ignoring the whole time. Simba goes back to Pride Rock. He faces off with Scar. He admits that he killed his dad. He did the thing. In Frozen, what is Anna's thing? What is their thing that she's been ignoring? There isn't one. Like, she goes to Hans and gets betrayed. But there's no, like, growth in that. Like, she just learns not to trust Hans. But then she still trusts Olaf and Kristoff and her sister, and Anna doesn't change from that. Not really. The character that needed something to change was Elsa. Because she's, like, isolated. But there's no buildup of that from Elsa's side. They should have been one character. They should have been one character. And there. It should have been like Kristoff and Elsa. Or even Anna and Elsa. Like Anna is like actively trying to get Elsa to open up. And Elsa's like trying. Or even like Elsa and Kristoff are falling in love and something pinged. What happened? I I'm sorry about the recursive stuff. But yeah, Anna and Elsa should have been one person because they share a character arc. And like that just makes Anna even more redundant in the second movie. Because Anna doesn't have an arc in the second movie. Like Kristoff wants to propose to her and then he gets to at the end, I guess. But that's not even an arc for him. Like we're going to Microsoft Paint. I'm sorry. Um Let me adjust some things first. And then nope. Okay. So here's how stories work. In why Frozen sucks is, let's say, let's go with Lion King because that's the other thing I've been using. So Lion King opinion. Uh, how to be responsible. So here is our main opinion. What does it mean to be responsible? How do you be responsible? We have Simba. He thinks being responsible is running around doing whatever he wants all day, and he wants to just like have fun all day and forever. We have Mufasa. He is a good king. His responsible is we respect everyone, we keep things in a balance, and we keep people safe. He's a good man. We have Scar. His whole thing, being responsible, being in charge, is everyone listens to you, and what you say is law. We're not going to do all the characters, but we have Timon and Pumbaa over here. They're basically the same character, but it's fine. They do slightly different approaches. Their whole thing is being responsible. What do you mean being responsible? Have fun with us, and you aren't in charge of anyone, but you can do whatever you want all day and forever. We have colors. Zazu largely listens to Mufasa, but also like largely listens to Mufasa, but also is like keep things orderly and scheduled and maintained, and everything working in its neat little row. So, we're not even going to do Zazu. We don't need Zazu. Ignore my whole ass computer jerking as I do that. Okay, no Zazu. So we have our 4 points of views. We have no responsibility, I'm in charge of everyone, I'm in charge of everyone but fun version, and be responsible and keep things balanced. Yeah, everyone had a crush on either Scar or Kovu. Okay, so the whole point of this is Simba, our main character, our shiny golden boy. Here, we'll treat him like Rafiki does and give him like wee. Simba, shiny golden boy, is influenced by these other characters and starts out actually remarkably close to his uncle in terms of like what he thinks responsibility really is, because like he's like ignoring a lot of it, and then he ends up being influenced more by Timon and Pumbaa over here because he like doesn't want to do anything for a while. But he ends up being closer to his dad's point of view of like, everything's balanced, respect everyone, all that. And like that's the character arc, that's the growth, that's the I need to work on myself. And like that's why Scar over here is the villain. Those aren't cat ears, those are devil horns. I'll give him a Scar over here is the villain because he's the opposite of what Simba should be. And now I'm going to new thing. Then in Frozen, I don't know what the theme would be. Is be around uh people, I think. I don't know. So we have Anna over here. She thinks being around people and being romantic with people is great and we should do it all the time, and it's like the greatest thing ever. We have Elsa. I'm so bad at drawing a circle. We have Elsa over here, who thinks that being around people is horrible and we should never do that, and people are going to be afraid of you, and it's bad. We have Hans, who thinks that being around people is great because you can manipulate the shit out of them. We have our reindeer boy, Kristoff. He doesn't want to be around people because he thinks people are dumb and smelly and stupid. He's just around reindeer all the time. We have what's a good color for Beyond Orange yet? We have Olaf, which is he's actually very close to Anna. He thinks that being around people is great, but he actually largely just wants to experience summer. He's just kind of silly psychic character. He doesn't have a character arc. Frozen is just a story about a girl who is kind of autism coded, suffering from outbursts, and her ADHD sister. Said autistic girl gets depressed, and ADHD girl thinks it can be fixed by just smiling. You're correct. Olaf doesn't have an arc. He's just kind of there. I need to redraw that. He's just kind of there because Josh Gad is funny. But he largely just kind of shares opinions with Anna. So I'm actually gonna toss him out there because he doesn't have a character arc. Then we have the Rock Trolls, and despite raising Kristoff and him not ending up like that, their thing is both people are scary and you should worry about their opinions of you, and also love is great and solves everything. Yeah. Actually, I'm also gonna just kind of toss him over there. That's fine. So we have people suck, be around reindeers. People suck, manipulate them. People are great, be around them all the time. And people suck because they will manipulate you. She is like Hans is proof of like Elsa's worldview. The rock troll gnome fuckers are child therapists who don't know how to handle autistic children. You're correct. So Anna and Elsa are both kind of the main characters, but one of them doesn't really learn anything, and the other one only learns stuff because the plot says so. Because Anna here is like, I want to be around people all the time, and I'm gonna marry this like super treacherous dude, but then actually I'm gonna be around this guy who's like a good person, but is a little antisocial and shares food with his reindeer. And then with Elsa, it's like, I don't want to be around people at all, including my sister, because people are gonna be afraid of me because those stupid ass freaking rock trolls said so. But then at the end, I'm fine with it because I realize I need to actually save my sister. And like, you see why that's not a good plot? Because first of all, I chucked like 2 or 3 different characters, and then there's also the Duke of Weaselton, who is just kind of like this like weird. Hold on, this like weird thing hanging off of Hans, because like Weaseltown also doesn't have a character arc, but he's also like manipulative. Um, so the two reasons why the Hans reveal sucks. Reason number one, Hans does not interact with Elsa like ever, or Anna, really. But like his betrayal that none of us saw coming because he didn't like even hint at it. His betrayal is dumb, and it shouldn't have been the point of like a good chunk of the plot. Um, Kristoff Kristoff really is just a love interest and kind of just someone for on a top. Here's the thing: we could have just had Olaf. We could have had just Olaf. In reality, we didn't need one of them. Maybe not Kristoff. The only reason why Kristoff exists is to get Anna to the plot device trolls, which is bad storytelling. Yeah, no, the hold on, I already have that color. The gift shop owners are over here, um, being gay and having a great life. They're doing great. That's Steam. They're doing great. They're over there. It just Frozen is not a tightly knit story, and it's only popular because of Let It Go. That's it. Let It Go, and it's kind of pretty. Because like, there's no songs even after the trolls, I think, and the trolls song also isn't integral to the story. This started about plot. Yeah, no, it's no longer right session. This is just bad plots. Because like, I know we've been talking about plots. We're going to talk about songs now. So, songs. We have our opening number. We have the opening number. That's just describing what the world is like. We have our I want songs. That is what the character wants and why they want it and what they're going to do to get it. Usually this song is actually really flawed because what they're singing about is not what they actually need. But we'll get there. Then we have um if we're talking about like Little Mermaid. No, we'll go back to Lion King. We'll go back to Lion King because Lion King is actually a good song. We have the I Want song. Then we have the villain song. The villain is letting us know their motivations and what they're gonna do to stop the main character. Then we have the kooky sidekick song. So in Lion King we have I can't type. We have the kooky Hakuna Matata. We have in Little Mermaid maybe Les Poissons. We have arguably this could, and like besides these first two, like these don't have to be in like a strict order because like the kooky sidekick song is like both Les Poissons and Under the Sea. So what I'm noticing here is the kooky sidekick song could also be like a why the main character should not do the thing that they want to do. Yeah, so that's the point of the psychic song. Um, tells MC, that's the main character, not to do the thing. That's the point of that's the real point of psychic characters. They are not the villains, but they inadvertently are enablers for the main character. Then we have Hakuna Matata in The Lion King. I don't actually think that might be it for The Lion King actually. Oh, then there's the Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Um so this is love song slash progress song. This song is like a recap of how close we are to the goal. But it's also wrong because it's not like what the character actually needs. I'll do Anastasia next. But this is what the character actually needs. Then let me see. There's Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Is there? Is there one after that? There's not always a song after that. Because I can't think of any. There is the like. Sometimes there's a cool opening number. Redo at like the end of the movie just as like a refrain. So, that's the Lion King. In Frozen, we're gonna do Anastasia third, but we're talking about why Frozen's music sucks. In Frozen, we have the opening number is a bunch of ice harvesters doing their thing. That's great. That establishes that the kingdom is near ice. But that's not that important to the story. So, whatever. Then we have the I Want song. Anna actually gets two. Because she has the Do You Want to Build a Snowman and the song, For the First Time in Forever. I guess Do You Want to Build a Snowman could also be kind of considered an opening number because it's establishing the relationship between Anna and Elsa, which is there isn't one. And then First Time in Forever is when Anna really comes out and says, "Hey, I want connections. Maybe fall in love. Ideally, fall in love." And then there's the villain song, which I guess is Love is an Open Door, because it's like I'm gonna marry you and take your throne, but he doesn't say that. He just like proposes to her at the end, but that's it. It's not a good villain song. Then there's the sidekick song, which is, like I said, it's like it's kind of enabling the main character to ignore the thing. Kristoff sings a song to himself, saying that people suck, but Anna doesn't really hear that, and it's not trying to convince her. And then Olaf has his song, Which, and this is why Olaf doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, because his goal is like 1,000% separate from everything else that's going on. Because he's like, I want to be warm and experience summer and be a happy snowman. Not a puddle, a happy snowman. But that doesn't stop anyone from doing anything. Then we have the love/progress song, which we're actually going to come back to the sidekick one. The love/progress song, which is like giving us a false sense of things going on. So Anna meets up with Elsa again, and they do a reprise of For the First Time in Forever, but that's when Anna ends up having her heart frozen because Elsa still has an anxiety disorder. Then there's the Troll song, which is also kind of a sidekick song because they're like, hey, we're gonna distract you and have you try to hook up with our adoptive foundling child, who's not a child, Kristoff's an adult. But that also really doesn't have anything to do with the plot ever, because like they do get together, but it doesn't stop Anna and Elsa's relationship. It doesn't stop Anna and Hans's relationship, really. And Olaf is just there. That's amazing. Sorry, I've been ranting for so long and I haven't been reading anything. Anastasia was the Kid Riv's favorite animated musical that wasn't a Disney movie or a Barbie movie. Same. Anastasia actually slaps. Maybe that's like a love/progress song. Maybe because like the trolls are like, hey, fall in love with our foundling guy. But just these songs could be not songs, and it wouldn't do anything. Olaf didn't need to have a song. It's cool that Anna and Elsa have their cool like discordant duet. Oh yeah, also Let It Go is in there somewhere. I forgot about Let It Go. Let It Go was in there somewhere. That's not even like one of the genres. They just put like a Billboard Top 50 song in the middle of their Disney movie. Let It Go doesn't follow any of these because it's not Elsa trying to stop Anna from anything. I guess it's trying to stop Anna from having a connection, but like she has Hans and Kristoff and Olaf. Elsa wanting to isolate herself isn't against Anna. And this is kind of an I Want song, but it's also really late in the movie after Anna already had two. And it's just, it's dumb. It's, point being, half of the songs in Frozen didn't need to be there. Because they don't do anything. Yeah, Let It Go as they remember they had a second protagonist. Okay. And now we're doing Anastasia. So, Anastasia. Opening number. It's both an I Want song for Anastasia and no. Like it's an opening number to like introduce St. Petersburg and the plot and the setting, and it tells us, hey, the Grand Duchess is trying to find her family, specifically her niece. Or grandkid? Grandkid. Grandkid. She's trying to find her granddaughter. And Dimitri and Vlad are like, hey, we're gonna find someone to do this for us. So it's kind of an I want song for them. Then there's the I want song of Anastasia. She's like, I want to figure out what my past is and where I come from. That's what Journey to the Past is. Then we have our villain song, and that's from Rasputin. And he's like, I'm gonna kill Anastasia because I hate her so bad. Yes, the grandma. It's me, Anastasia. That's what Dimitri and Vlad sings. Then the villain song is from Rasputin. He wants to kill Anastasia so bad. Then I'm so sorry. Hold on. One more nose blow real quick. Okay. Okay, we're back here. Then we have the sidekick song. I would actually call that the Lord. That's when Vlad and that's his name, Vlad, right? And Dimitri are trying to teach Anastasia how to pretend to be Anastasia. Oh yeah, also Anya gets another I Want song because she gets the Once Upon December. She gets a second song. And the sidekick song, they're trying to teach Anastasia how to do the Anya how to do the thing. Then the love progress is it's not like a duet, but that's the song about Paris when they're in Paris. Well, it's also the one on the boat. There's the one on the boat where it's like, oh hey, Anastasia and Dimitri are, kind of catching feelings, and then the love song thing is also the song that they're singing in Paris, where I'm counting this as a progress song because Dimitri's like, oh my gosh, I really like her, but I don't know if I should go through with this because this is how you do two different characters with different arcs right, by the way. Is the Anastasia movie. It's not a good movie historically, but it's good as a musical. But he's like, yeah, I don't know if I should like let her go through with this. And Anastasia's like, wow, I'm getting all dolled up and really nice and pretty to go meet the Grand Duchess. And so it's like we see where both of them are at with this song, and it slaps. And I love how we like transition into like almost like a Van Gogh type art style, or I guess it would be Monet, like a Monet type art style. Yeah, no, I know that like people, um, I know that someone did actually claim to be Anastasia, and like I know that that's what it's based on. But like we went from in terms of like the studio, we went from An American Tale, which is a very very Jewish story, to let's write a story where these Roman dictators are the main characters and the good guys. Um, so that yeah, I'm not getting into that. I probably find review specifically. I'll find a link that explains it. But yeah, so that's a level in progress. And then the opening redo is they do a little bit of Journey to the Past or whatever that song is like at the end when Anastasia and Dimitri have gone off. But like, the songs matter. The songs do things. And it either moves the plot forward or it gives us an insight into the character's headspace. I'm gonna go back to ranting about Frozen. The Fixer Upper song is like the worst one because it doesn't tell us anything about Anna's point of view, it doesn't tell us anything about Kristoff's point of view, and it doesn't move the plot forward. Like, at least Olaf's song tells us about Olaf. That's the only reason why that song is important. Yeah, but that's what studios sadly do. Yeah. Yeah. But like, Anastasia is good. And I'll do a plot thing for Anastasia too, and then I'm gonna be AFK for a minute and like get food and run to the bathroom. So Anastasia's whole thing is I'm just gonna do text because I'm lazy. Reunite Anastasia slash Anya with her grandma. That's the goal. Should she be reunited? Should she find her family? Should she like figure out what her past is? I still need to listen to the Broadway musical, but yeah. We have Anya slash Anastasia, because she goes by Anya for a lot of the movie. She wants to reunite with her grandma. We have Dimitri and, to a lesser degree, Vlad. They want to not necessarily reunite Anastasia with her grandma, but they want to reunite someone with her grandma. But largely they just want to get money out of it. We have Rasputin. He is an asshole and wants Anya dead so bad he does not want them reunited. And I think that's about it. Then we have I'm just gonna toss him in there too. Then we have Vlad, who he's a good man. He wants to make money. Also like Dimitri, but then Dimitri has his own separate thing where like he ends up falling in love with Anya. So he stops wanting to necessarily exploit her. And like Vlad doesn't really want to either, but like that's why Dimitri doesn't want to. And then Vlad doesn't want to exploit her because he realizes through Dimitri that like Anya is like the real deal. Oh yeah, and the bat. And then there's Bartok. I'm not on the brush. And then there's Bartok. He is a little bat guy who serves Rasputin. And he doesn't necessarily want Anastasia dead, but he wants to be a good minion. So to that end, he wants Anastasia dead. But like they still like they're important. And then we have the grandma. Stop it. We have the grandma over here, and she wants to be reunited with her grandma, with her granddaughter. I can talk. And then she has like this like really extra cool like crown thing. They have the cool crowns. And like she doesn't have a character arc, but she also wants Anastasia to be found. The one failing of Anastasia to me is Anastasia does, and of finding her grandma and finding out who she is. But like, she doesn't really have a flaw beyond that. And the movie's kind of about her. Like, for a movie called Anastasia, Dimitri's the main character. Because, like, Dimitri's the one that is, like, has a thing he wants to do with Vlad over here, but then realizes that he shouldn't and there's something better for him to do, which is to do the right thing and reunite Anastasia with her grandma. Dimitri is really gender. But that's the one failing I think that Anastasia has, is she doesn't have a character flaw or really a character arc when Dimitri does. Yeah, it's probably because he's a man, but that's just my opinion. Y'all can roast me in the comments. Anyways, it is 23 minutes past when I said I was going to take a break. I got really into this. I'm gonna flip up my be right back screen. You guys can listen to classical music for a minute. I'm gonna try to be gone for no more than like 15 minutes. I'm gonna go get food and run to the bathroom, and I have water. But yeah, I shall be right back. Let's plan on meeting back here at about it's 11:45 for me, but 15 till. Let's plan on meeting back here. Alright, chat, we're coming back early because I need to address this. The King in Yellow is an actually cosmic horror eldritch horror. It's a commentary on how art can consume the artist and drive them to do things they never once imagined before. That mental health has always been stigmatized even back when it was written, and that the true curse behind The King in Yellow is it brings about a different interpretation from each and every reader, as all art does. and that's when the stream died. That's really funny that that's right when it happened. I don't know why it died. I closed Krita because I was accidentally in the background. But yeah, that's really funny. Anywho, with all of that, with all of my previous rantness in mind, I'm going to actually try to do some outlining today. You're too powerful with your analysis. You're a very powerful being. That's why you keep going after the eldritch horrors in our D&D sessions. First you went after not Cthulhu, and then you went after the deity that crashed our ship. You have a type, Riv. It's fine. Danny's type is the villains, so like Dan couldn't have. So, clarification for those of us who don't know my friend group. There's Danny, spelled with an I, and they are the mutual friend of me and Riv. Then there's Dan, and that is my husband, with no I at the end. Two different. Dan couldn't have any proper villains for so long because Danny kept flirting with them and making them not villains anymore. Yes, you're smooching in the background. That just means that you're a villain and Danny's an eldritch god, is what it sounds like. You're also flirting, because you're flirting with Danny in their campaign. You're flirting with eldritch horror, not Cthulhu, which my husband is running my campaign. Anyways. I'm going to try to actually get to like 500 words with this outline. And you want to flirt with Chip too. That's valid. Anyways. Pastor in his two hands. You're right. Also, I'm going to be occasionally eating my, my scrumptious baked potato. I don't know how well it showed up on camera. Excuse me. Yes, I do enjoy watching you make Danny blue screen. I'm gonna go through this plot thing again with 2 more movies, because I want to address the liar revealed trope. That, like, a lot of people hate, but it's not actually that bad if you know how to plot right. So I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna go over it with 2 more movies, and then small break maybe, just so I can eat, and then I'll actually sit down and do proper plotting. And we both need to work on our Inkheart thing that neither of us have done in months. Red herrings are fun. Here's the thing. Red herrings... I'm gonna turn this back off. Red herrings can be fun when they're appropriate thematically. The Duke of Weaseltown is a dogshit red herring because he doesn't do anything. That's just me still being mad about Frozen. I'm gonna stop talking about Frozen because we're gonna be here all night. So I'm going to go over this with 2 more movies real quick. I did that wrong. What are those 2 more movies, you may ask? Nope. Nope. Hold on. These are the 2 movies I'm gonna not shut up about. I'll just record what we write. Yeah. No, you will never see anything but the current screen of what I'm working on because I have too many abandoned projects. Okay. Klaus. We are going to go through this thing with Klaus because Klaus is a good movie. So we have, where are we starting off? What makes this stay different? What makes this stay different is our character is finally getting his ass kicked out of Postman Academy or whatever it's called. Here's the thing, you like the twink mailman gender? I love the titular character Klaus. I guess no, the main character's name isn't Klaus. It's I know his name. Hold on. Jesper. Jesper's the main character, not Klaus, I'm sorry. So Jesper gets kicked out of Mailman Academy because he is intentionally bad at his job because he just wants to go back to his life. Here's this movie is actually really efficient because these 2 plot points are together. Um, we learn that he's getting kicked out because he wants to just go back to his life of fineries and being waited on hand and foot. Um, inciting incident. He gets shipped off to a rinky-dink island in the middle of nowhere. He tries to convince his dad or anyone not to make him do that. Um, and he does not want to be a mailman. Yeah, Klaus is it. Um, eventually the character realizes, Jesper realizes that he has to try to be a mailman because it's not working trying to convince people to let him go back home. New World. We are introduced to the town of Smirenberg. This town sucks. It is ramshackle and everyone hates each other. Everyone is fighting all the time. And there's two families fighting each other. It's the Crumbs and the Ellingbows. I'm pretty sure is what the clans are called. I said with largely positive results, you can have negative results in the first half because that is what happens in Klaus. He fails to get anyone to mail anything. And then he meets Klaus. He meets this old woodsman character who made toys for years and years and years and years. And he convinces the kids of this shitty ass island to write letters to Klaus to make Klaus give them toys. It takes him a while because he can't get kids to mail the stuff because the kids are everyone is still focused on fighting each other. Because Jesper is still also being really selfish. And I'm going to admit these plot points don't work quite as well for my revealed things. No one knows that Klaus is only here because he's trying to get back home. His job is he's trying to get people to mail things because then his dad will find out that he mailed enough letters and he'll get sent back home. But accidentally, Klaus and Jesper, I acknowledge I've been calling Jesper Klaus. The twink ass mailman has to mail like 100,000 letters before he can go home. And inadvertently, slowly, the town ends up becoming less sucky because the kids are less sucky because they want toys, and that influences the adults to be less sucky because they can't ignore the influence of the children. If only that's how real life worked. So, don't sneeze, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. Please don't sneeze. I have to blow my nose again. I apologize. Also, I totally missed it earlier. I apologize. Rehab 350. Thank you for the follow. That means a lot. Um. So yeah. So characters warn whether it's succeeding, but they choose to ignore it. The thing is, like, Jesper's plan to get the mail together is working. But his plan to go home is, like, he's learning to be a better person so he doesn't want to go home? But he's, like, ignoring that he's being a better person. Then the Crumbs and the Ellingbows are, like, mad that people are being nice to each other, so they falsify mail and send out a crap ton of fake letters to make Jesper's dad come out and get him. And Kirito has no choice but to do the thing they've been ignoring the whole time. This is when the liar reveal trope comes out, because he has to admit to everyone why he is here and why he's trying to get everyone to write these letters. But then he make a plan to actually do the thing the lesson main character is learning. He's learned that he actually does enjoy this town. He enjoys being around people and helping people. Because he's been ignoring that the entire time. And then initiate plan. Jesper is trying to save. The long story short, Klaus and Jesper have planned to make a crap ton of toys for Christmas, and the bad guys are trying to sabotage that. So Jesper is trying to not sabotage that. And it looks like everything is going wrong because, oh no, all the toys fell off a cliff, and all the bad guys are like, haha, all your toys fell off a cliff, and then they leave, and then like a second sleigh full of toys comes out, and they're like, oh, actually they aren't all dead, that was all just wrapped pieces of firewood. And then, so, like, Jesper doesn't fix the toys. Like, he doesn't save the toys from falling off a cliff because he has learned compassion and empathy and such. He salvages his relationships with Klaus and the hot school teacher that he's been flirting with. That is the one flaw of this movie. They have no chemistry. But it's just like, oh yeah, no, let's just smoosh them together. I don't like it when movies and other such medias put two characters together just because it's a man and a woman. Like, they have a little bit of chemistry, but not a lot. And then this, I'm actually gonna put this up here because Jesper is told, like, you can go back home, and he almost gets on the boat to go back home. And I'm so sorry. And he's like, nah, I don't want to go back home because actually I enjoy it here. And then you got your happy end. Jesper ends up with the school teacher and they have two kids. I know I said I was going to talk about the liar revealed thing. Liar revealed is hard because they can never outright state what their plan is. So, like, his goal to send enough mail works. but it gets in the way of him, like in the act of him getting to send enough mail, he realizes he doesn't want to go back home, and the going back home is what the lie was. Does that make sense? Like, lie revealed is hard. um Lie revealed is hard because the thing that they're actively doing is in service to the lie that they're telling, but also ends up being the thing that makes it so that the thing that they're keeping a lie doesn't work anymore. Klaus and Jesper had so much more uh, chemistry than than Jesper and the school teacher. I can't remember what her name was. But yeah, so like, good lie revealed. Over the hedge. It's we have, what is the raccoon's name? We have the raccoon guy, played by Bruce Willis. I can't remember his name. Anyways, the raccoon guy, he owes a debt to Big Scary Bear, and so he uses this group of woodland creatures to help him steal a bunch of food from humans to pay off the bear. But they don't know that he's paying off the bear. He says that it's to help them prepare for winter, because suburbs have been built where their home used to be. RJ, that's the raccoon's name. So RJ is lying about being in debt to the bear so that he can betray them, so that he's gathering food so that he can betray them. But in him gathering food, he learns to care for all the other woodland creatures, and he doesn't want to betray them, and so that's when the lie comes out. But then in A Bug's Life, Flick goes and finds these circus performers who he initially thinks are like super cool warriors or whatever, and he hires them to be warriors so that they can fight off the grasshoppers. And here's why this liar's reveal doesn't work mechanically, because the fact that they're circus bugs does nothing to the lie that they're circus bugs does not affect the fact that they're trying to stop the grasshoppers. If that makes sense. Because they still build a bird to scare off the grasshoppers. So like lie revealed works when if the characters knew the lie from the get-go, the plot wouldn't happen. If everyone in the movie Klaus knew that Jesper was just trying to get home and that was the whole motive, none of them would have given him letters. In Over the Hedge, if the turtle Vern says at the end of Over the Hedge that they would have helped him get food for the bear. I don't think they would have, because they were solely concerned with survival. They would have been like, no, we're not helping you because we need to look out for ourselves. I genuinely don't think he would have helped. Anyways, in A Bug's Life, if Flick just said, hey, I got these bugs, they're not warriors, but they're smart and they're going to help us build a bird. Like, they would have built the bird. You know? That still would have happened. I think that's when lie reveal tropes don't work, is when the lie isn't holding back the plot. And that's why Klaus is a better movie than Bug's Life. Anyways, Tigger movie. I watched this so much as a kid, and then recently rewatched it like a week and a half ago. So, starting off, what makes it say different? Tigger is trying to get people to bounce with him, and no one in the 100-Acre Woods wants to bounce with him. So, the I Want portion, he wants to find people like him that will bounce with him. And he decides that that means that he's going to go find his non-existent family. That's also kind of the inciting incident because it's Rue's idea to go and find family, I think. And Tigger's like, nah, that doesn't happen. There's no other Tiggers out there. Because I'm the only one. That's how my song goes. But he's like, okay, well, look, and they end up looking around his house to find an heirloom that would have come from Tigger's family. And he decides to actually go and look for other Tiggers because they find this heart-shaped locket. Not the red one from Tumblr. They find this heart-shaped locket, and Tigger's like, this is absolutely from my family, so I'm going to find them. So he writes them a letter. And he writes them a letter, and he sets up for this party, and he is trying to figure out how to find his family. And everyone else is super supportive. They're like, we're going to find other Tiggers. Of course, they can't find other Tiggers, so they run into bees and striped frogs, and I think there's a stripy caterpillar at some point. And then they toss something is tossed into the mix. The 100-Acre Wood crew decides to write Tigger a letter to make him feel better. And they sign it from your family. So from Tigger's family. And so Tigger tries to convince everyone that his family is going to be there tomorrow. And everyone's like, that's a problem because they don't exist. So everyone gets dressed up as a Tigger. And I realize that I'm giving major plot spoilers. This movie is 24 years old. So they all dress up as Tiggers, and then Tigger finds out that it isn't actually his family. So he decides to go out and look for his family. Yeah, it's a 24-year-old movie. I think it was a 1 too, yeah. And so everyone goes out and looks for Tigger. And while they're looking for Tigger, he causes an avalanche with his shout. And so he puts everyone up in a tree because he's like, oh, this is my real family, and I really care about them and they really care about me, and it doesn't matter that there's not people that look like me, I still have people that care about me. So he saves the whole 100-Acre Wood crew. And The Tigger movie is like remarkably well written for a 2001, pretty sure it was a direct-to-DVD movie about Tigger. Like, the Tigger movie is a better movie than Frozen, is what I'm saying. Oh my lord. I'm all gross and I'm so sorry. But yeah, so I'm gonna turn the Bach back on, and I'm gonna eat while we listen to Bach, and then I will actually sit down and write. So. And I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me eat, so I'm gonna turn off my camera and my mic. So. I'm back. Don't worry about the deleted message there. It was just a spam bot. If you're not a spam bot, you will not get deleted. Anyways, now I'm actually going to sit down and actually try to get some outlining done. So. I know I said 500 words. I'm gonna try for 1,000, I think. I'm gonna turn off spell check because that's gonna annoy me. Nope. No, that's such a mood. Alrighty. Does downing this vial help or hurt whatever plan anyone had? I'll put my phone back up here. Vision the mic and probably hinders his plan of speedrun leaving Wonderland. Alrighty. So, next thing is he has to find a way to either cope with it or undo it. Maybe. I don't know. These are just ideas. You are but a worm. Yes. Make all the boy worms go. Don't take that shit out of context, please. I watched it on, because I don't have a second monitor. I just have my phone screen to watch the chat, and I watched me do that after I did it, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Let me see. Do I have like actual Mucinex or something over here? Allergy relief. Oh yeah. Yeah. Read your drug instructions, kids. The urge to bake has taken hold that you should take care just before you bake. I hope the rest of the stream goes well too. We'll see if this helps my gosh darn cold. So I think that was the last one, so I'm gonna have to go get Mucinex from the bathroom. Yeah. Kids, read your drug instructions. Don't mix drugs that don't work good together. Riv, rude. How dare you? It's not. Yeah, okay. Just trying to make this a bit more legible. Okay. At the next hour, I'm gonna call for another bathroom break. So. No, Riv, not your sinuses. I think you like telepathically sent me your sinus bullshit, cause my nose has been so messed up yesterday and today. I might cancel my Sunday stream if I still feel like trash, just cause like I feel like trash now, and I don't want to have like hand-eye coordination. Plague those you interact with. No. Also, let me know if the music's too loud, because I have it turned down a little bit on my end, but... Okay. Oh, my new couple. I'm just writing better Divergent is what I'm doing. I'm just making Dauntless, but it's not shit. Here's the thing, Divergent is so silly. Because, like, there are different districts in the Hunger Games because they have different agricultural exports. There are different factions in Divergent because the author doesn't know how factions work. Yes, you work on that fic. I got a notification. No. Hold on. Hi there. I apologize. Dude, everyone thinks Big Hero 6 should have had a different villain. Because it's what I was talking about with the Hans situation. There's a twist villain for no reason except to shock, I guess. Here's the thing. I hear you. But I need my precious cinnamon roll. The only way that I think that would have worked if Tadashi faked his death, also spoilers, because he did actually die, is if Hiro was getting more attention than him, and or Tadashi was going to like get his funding cut or whatever if he didn't come up with something cool. So like he became a villain and faked his death to like steal Hiro's thunder or whatever. You'd have to change some stuff, but I can see that working. But I want my squishy cinnamon roll man. It's really hard to think that someone who created Baymax would be capable of faking his death and fighting his brother. You know? I mean, yeah, if he was the last-ditch effort to get funding. Or Callahan was gonna take the intellectual rights of Baymax and wasn't gonna give Tadashi credit. Problem is with that plotline is Disney Studios is ran by a bunch of cowards who would never admit to doing that themselves. So, however, you could write it, or I could write it. I don't know. I feel bad. I missed text from my husband at about 11. I just texted him back, but. Anyways. You say that like it's a bad thing, Rev. Well, here's the thing, if we're writing this, it's not canon anyways. So. Like, the moment we said Tadashi faked his death was the moment that canon flew out the window. Just saying. Make him a trans gay man. I'm giving you permission. Surgeon Pop Baymax. Yes. Hello, Shadow Legion. Thank you for joining us. I am trying my diddly darndest to outline a brand new story, and we're talking about, faked his death trans Tadashi fanfiction from Big Hero 6. So, I need to I'm so sorry. Please sneeze. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know my poor sinus. It's stuffy as hell. That's why I took Mucinex. Here's the thing, my mother-in-law had the plague, and she gave it to my husband, and then my husband gave it to me. So, it's I know you know it's not your fault. But... It is hilarious to imagine. I did see the drawing of Crow, yeah, and then you posted like a list of all the layers afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. My head is itchy. I bet. I'm gonna move this. Wow, I have delay. Hold on. Oh, that's why I saw Steam open. Okay. Yeah, 7 more minutes and I'm gonna call another bathroom break. I can type, I promise. I'm gonna... I'm gonna make the sister older. Because none of the Big Hero 6 actively wanted to hurt people. And uranium would have caused cancer. A character. Well, they're good college kids. They're friends with Tadashi. Here's the thing, there's a difference between anarchy and wanting a different societal structure and like actively causing harm to innocent bystanders. Like, even Technoblade never stole potatoes from Squid Kid. Well, no, but like someone has to pick up the uranium. I still have to pick up the uranium. She has to handle it. Like, I don't think it's safe for her to handle it. Also, it's cooler to have cool pastel explosions. Babe, I can clean it. Maybe. Anyways, it is now 1 a.m. my time, or it's about to be. I'm gonna have another eating / bathroom session, so get water, stretch, go to the bathroom. I'll be back at 15 past. Alrighty. I'm going to finish up this outline, and stream will be over in about 45 minutes. So. Actually, I had an idea. I'm gonna... How do I not... There we go. Okay. attention real quick. I'm actually gonna call it here. I'm not done yet, but it's getting kind of late. I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you guys maybe Saturday.